Sometimes you have a plan for a show, and then literally seconds before the show begins, you're already thrown a curveball. Tim McManus just put out a piece literally like 20, 25 minutes ago, detailed, long, extensive piece about the Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni relationship issues, problems from last year. And let me tell you something. I see a lot of Eagles fans and a lot of reporters supporting and loving this article. I hate it. I think it's stupid, and I think it's unnecessary. And I'm going to tell you why. We're talking Eagles, of course, right here. Phillies, if you want, trending in the AM, right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We're live, taking your thoughts and opinions in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know the drill. Wherever you are watching, whatever platform you are watching on, please do me that favor. Hit that share, subscribe, follow, retweet, like button, whichever platform. There's different ways to do it on all different platforms. Just do it. Get it out there. Talk, spread the word. Get people interactive, as we got lots to talk about today. We were going to have a Eagles stock rising, stock dropping, kind of with the stock market struggling right now. Who's up and who's down in Eagles training camp today? Obviously, Jalen Hurts was going to be part of that conversation. But then literally what I love about doing this show is that when information, articles, news drops, pretty much minutes before the show starts, really throws a little curveball into things. And I literally just got done reading the Tim McManus piece on the relationship between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. And I know there's a lot of people in Philadelphia Eagles Nation and media that are just eating it up and loving it and congratulating Tim McManus on such a fantastic article detailing so many of the problems. And I'm here to tell you, it sucks, and I hate the article. I love Tim McManus. I respect Tim McManus. Never met him, but he has been one of my go-tos for camp updates and Eagles updates for literally since I can remember. Since before my YouTube career, my podcasting career began, if I'd call it a career. But let me tell you something. Going out there and writing a piece dissecting the relationship problem that you think existed last year between coach and quarterback, 2 weeks plus into a training camp that has nothing but positive vibes, greatness happening, and literally everybody on the same page of moving forward from 2023, to drop this quote-unquote, in my opinion, hit piece is a point to stir up trouble. Maybe Tim McManus didn't want to stir up trouble, but that's what it does. It's a distraction. It's an unnecessary distraction. And I think it's a terrible piece. And I know a lot of people watching this live probably hasn't read the article. So I'm pretty sure the article just dropped literally not too long ago. He literally dropped it an hour ago on Twitter. So not only that, you know what I mean? So it is literally fresh. And I just read it, and it is a long article. So there's a lot to take in. I might have to read it 2 or 3 times to truly fully understand the article. But let me tell you something. Drumming up problems from last year. If it's as bad as the article made it out to be, I stand firm in saying this, there is 0% chance if the problem and the relationship was as bad as that article describes it as being, there is 0 chance Nick Sirianni would be the head coach of this football team right now. And I get nobody wants to give up their sources, but there's literally 207.31 anonymous sources that are commenting in this article. And I hate it, and I hate it. I do not want or need distractions. I want them focused on football in 2024. Now they got to answer questions again about Tim McManus's piece. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And it really pissed me off this morning. Guys, I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. Find me at Bearded Knowledge on all social media platforms. We will also talk stocks rising and falling the most throughout this show. Good morning, Duck. How you doing today? Hopefully better than Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are going to be doing, because they're going to have questions to answer now. It is almost Friday. 2 more sleeps till we get football. And you know what Friday means, Deebs? Not only is Friday the first football game of the year, that means we're 4 weeks away from week 1. I almost feel like that's more exciting to hear. Who the fook is Tim McManus? I don't know if this is a joke or not. I mean, he's been an Eagles beat reporter for a very long time. I think he works for ESPN, in Philadelphia now. I mean, he is one of the most in-touch people that has plenty of sources. But literally, it's like, I got this little bit of information, but let me make it something super big, because maybe it'll stir some controversy, and we won't have to keep reporting the fact that Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown an interception yet through camp. Camp's been boring in the drama department. So let's make some drama. That is what is. I know a lot of Eagles fans and a lot of reporters are going to heavily compliment and love and bite and fall for this article so much. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so freaking much. Good morning to Charles. How you doing? All on the line. Everybody's here. I love it. I love it. Good morning, Little G. How you doing today? I'm done with all this nonsense. I'm ready and excited to break down and react to actual football. Absolutely. Like, seriously, I was going to break down so many different players today. Stocks up, stocks down. I was going to spend a lot of time on stock up on Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts is having an amazing camp so far. We have to see if it translates onto the field or not. We'll see. But then this piece gets dropped, and I'm literally thrown for a curveball here. I hate the article, too. I'm glad you read it, Jim. I literally just read it. And so I almost don't want to comment too much on the article, because I feel like it's so lengthy and so detailed that I've got to read it 2 or 3 more times to fully get the article. But let me tell you something. The initial read of it was pretty unnecessary in my opinion. There's no way that article is 100% accurate and Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni kept his job this year. No way. Oh, I'm ready for the regular season. I've already done an interview. I know you have. I'm excited for it too. Makes this show so much easier. Maddie B, distraction. I say the truth. Maybe some Eagles fans can't handle the truth. But Maddie, I don't know if you've read the article yet. Like I said, it just came out this morning. Most Eagles fans are finding it this morning as they wake up, reading it this morning. And I know you like to look at things a little differently than most. And yes, it's a distraction. Maybe there are some truths in it. But if it's as bad as the article makes it out to be, there is 0 way Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie would have brought Nick Sirianni back. If there is that much of a disconnect, if there is that much of a distraction, if there was that much hate between those two people, if there was that little respect between the 2 most important people in your organization, the coach and the quarterback, there's no way Nick Sirianni would be here. None. 0. Zilch. And all these anonymous sources and quotes throughout the article, 3 people said this, 4 people said that, this and that. It drives me up a wall, because literally you've heard every single Eagles player say we are moving on from 2023. We're focused on 2024. That is what every single person is saying. But yet now, because camp's boring for the reporters, let's take a little bit of information. Let's expand on it. Let's blow it up even bigger. Let's make issues where there are no issues right now. Jalen Hurts is going too well. Nick Sirianni looks too comfortable in his new role. People are stepping up. So let's stir the pot a little bit. And let's take a little article. Let's blow it up into something big. This is an article that I wouldn't have been we would have discussed this article, but I would have been a lot less fired up about this article if it would have came out July 7th. If this article would have came out June 28th. If this article would have came out at any point before camp started. Hell, even 2 weeks before camp, I wouldn't have freaked out as much. But we're 2 weeks into camp. What's up, Mad Chatter? Missed you the last couple of days. I have a source that told me that Sirianni is a good fella and Big Dom is like Luca Brazzi and Howie Roman is Hyman Roth. I like that. We can all say we have sources. And I know you can't give up your sources. But at some point, when you use sources as many times as Tim McManus is used in the article, you got to prove some facts. You can't have, I'm being a little sarcastic with 275.19 sources, but there were a lot of anonymous quoted sources in this article. You got to give me some proof. You got to give me some proof of this outside of because literally the whole article is based on anonymous sources. And there's a lot of content creators and Twitter champions out there that claim they have sources. No, they don't have sources. 99% of them don't. I never say I've got a source because I don't have sources. I just read the articles. I read what I read the stories. I watch what I see. I make my own opinions. Look right there. Hi, how are you there, TMC? My sources tell me ESPN is desperate for clicks. It very well may be a clickbait type thing. It really might be. But see, the problem, K1, is it's not clickbaiting in a bad way. This is not Jalen Hurts isn't a top 20 quarterback. Jalen Hurts doesn't belong in my top 40 quarterbacks. This is a problem between coach and quarterback. And everybody is buying into it. I went on Twitter and I looked. I went to quote tweet. I had a few people like it and share it. But I went through Twitter and I saw 4 or 5 reporters, media members complimenting it. I saw 7 or 8 other fans on a quick glance complimenting the article, how great it was, how they're still so concerned because of this article. And I think it's desperation, but it's also creating a distraction that we do not need. Your GM's ego is the reason. Look, I disagree with you on the Howie Roseman discussion in general, Matty B. I do not disagree that the GM has an ego. I agree with that. Pretty much every GM should have some form of an ego, first and foremost. He does. But it's not the reason the head coach is back. Howie Roseman didn't keep him because he knows he can control him. He kept him because this problem isn't as big of a deal. If this article was true, he would have fired Nick Sirianni and found another controllable head coach out there. I'm sure he could have found 4 other guys that could be controllable just like Nick Sirianni can be. So the fact that you're saying that he was only kept for that, no. He was kept for that, except for the fact that there was no actual problem. If the problem was that bad, there's no way Nick Sirianni would be here. You just paid your quarterback $255 million. You're going to take his side instead of keeping both in this type of a situation. Can we talk about the 2024 season and look forward? I'm tired of all the media nonsense. That's what I want. I have a whole agenda for today. We're 15 minutes into the show day, and I can't cover any of this because we've got to deal with an unnecessarily stupid hit piece that's trying to stir problems up because now practice it. I don't know who's scheduled to speak today. If anybody knows who's scheduled to speak today, let me know. This is their last practice. Then they leave for the game. And the game is Friday night. No practice tomorrow. Whoever speaks today, whether it's Sirianni or whether it's Jalen Hurts, is going to be asked a question about the Tim McManus article. And there's going to be a response. And said response will be dissected by every reporter. Hell, Martin Frank will be on this show tomorrow. We're going to get Martin Frank's opinion on this article tomorrow and the responses to it tomorrow. It drives me nuts. I did have a lot of Jalen Hurts talk on the agenda today. The interceptions, the camp performance, and whatnot. But unfortunately, this has got to be where we start. I used to have a great source by Best Man Runs, the NEC, and the coordinator or official also did Andy Reid Security. There was obvious only so much he could say, but the DJ stories were great. I see. See, I don't have sources. I don't claim to. Never did, never will. All right. I'm gonna try to steer the conversation to 2024. I'm gonna try to steer the conversation to those that are up and down through camp so far. I'm gonna try. Real football talk. Justin Simmons doing a workout. That's in my notes right here. It's written right there. Justin Simmons, Saints. Today is a problem. Not the news I want. Look, I think y'all overblow Justin Simmons. Potential on this Eagles team. It's overblown to an extent. If Justin Simmons was so important to the 2024 Eagles season, he'd be here already. He would. There's no reason for all these safeties to come off the board, even the later ones, because there was somebody else, I can't remember who, that got signed yesterday. Justin Simmons is still out there. It tells me all I need to know about Justin Simmons, that he's just not that guy anymore. And the Eagles don't see him that way, or he would be here. Look, Vic Fangio has gotten everybody he's wanted. Every type of player and every player he's requested, he's gotten. They're trying to make Vic Fangio a happy coach. Give him the tools to succeed. No more round holes or round pegs and square holes scenario. If Justin Simmons was needed on this team, he'd be here. Would I like Justin Simmons on this team? Sure. But if he was needed and if he was still a good enough player, he would be here already, Deebs. That's my opinion. Not my sources, because I don't have sources. My opinion is, and I've watched a lot of football in my lifetime. My opinion is if he was supposed to be here, he'd be here already. My sources tell me that Jalen Hurts is a silent owner of a massage parlor franchise. Oh, my God. That's like way out there left field, mister. I guess it's 5 o'clock somewhere. One name that never appears in that article. Who? Did Howie Roseman's name? So I know Steichen's name was in it. Brian Johnson's name was in it. Kellen Moore's name was in it. Howie Roseman or Jeffrey Lurie? I don't know. Maybe their names weren't in it. I don't know. Fingers crossed Howie pushed pause on Simmons signing because Cooper DeJean is getting ready, close to ready. That could be part of it. I also think, and I know it breaks people's heart, James Bradbury has done just enough to hold it down until Sidney Brown's back. Avonte Maddox got the start in practice yesterday, not James Bradbury with the ones as safety. Avonte Maddox was kind of, what are we going to do with him? He had success as a rookie, as a safety. This is his rookie year or his second year? Early in his career as a safety. I think they're confident in what they got. Now, there's a great question that was started on Twitter I had yesterday. Is Reed Blankenship really anything special or not? I think Reed Blankenship, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson are fine to start. Sidney Brown, Avonte Maddox, James Bradbury, the other guys in depth, I think it's fine. In reality, they could keep 3 safeties till Brown is back and a lot more cornerbacks as long as they have position flexibility. I'm trying to find my page with all the things. They've always kept 4 safeties at least, but they've never kept more than 7 cornerbacks. So maybe this is the year this changes a little. Maybe they go 8 cornerbacks and 3 safeties. I don't know. Very few could stand FredEx. I love them. I love the People's Champ. It's time. No guy celebrated less success than he celebrated every 2-yard catch like it was the game-winning shot in the NBA Finals Game 7. That boy, he was like Furkan Korkmaz to an extent. He wasn't coming back to the NBA, staying over in Europe. Plays with the confidence of Michael Jordan, but the skill set of Furkan Korkmaz. FredEx played with the confidence of Jerry Rice, but didn't even have Travis Fulgham's skill level. Allegedly. Everything is allegedly. The Teflon owner. Oh, so Jeffrey, was Howie Roseman's name mentioned then and Jeffrey Lurie's wasn't? Look, that's fine. I didn't see the article yet. And basically, we're given. Basically, the rundown of the article, Rick, is very simple. That Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni completely hate each other. They haven't fixed all their problems from last year. Last year's problems were 10 times worse than we realize they are, et cetera, et cetera. Source this, source that. Everybody's saying it. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's now concerned. No, I was ready to talk about today why we're over-exaggerating the no interceptions through camp and talk about that. But instead, we got to talk about the over-exaggeration. Fans are just feeding into this article. And again, 1,000 times I'll say it, Nick Sirianni would not be the head coach of the Eagles if the article was even close to accurate. No way in hell. A few of our DBs can play cornerback. Exactly, and that's why Justin Simmons isn't here. Plus, you got Sidney Brown coming back. Cooper DeJean. I still think Cooper DeJean's more of a cornerback than a safety. I remember last year throughout this show, people talking about that Eli Ricks could maybe play a little safety in a pinch if necessary. I don't know. I think there's a lot of position flexibility in the defensive backs room. If there wasn't that flexibility, Justin Simmons would be here. If Vic Fangio wanted Justin Simmons, he would be here. He is not here. Let him go to the Saints. Let him. If Justin Simmons is the end-all, be-all of us reaching the pinnacle of winning a Super Bowl, we've got a lot bigger problems on this team than Justin Simmons. They can go with fewer safeties because a few of the quarterbacks can play. Absolutely agree. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out. Doesn't seem to be serious. A shoulder issue. They're saying it's not serious. It was serious enough to have an MRI, but I guess whatever they saw, they're not concerned. Should be back soon. I do worry that Reed Blankenship and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson both have injury histories, both have missed time throughout their NFL careers, both short careers, but both do get banged up pretty easily. Maybe a product of the way they play. Hopefully they could be healthy enough at least till Sidney Brown is back, till Cooper DeJean is ready to go, till Avonte Maddox and or James Bradbury are ready to go in that role. We'll see. Anyone else have Huff, Becton, and Steen concerns? So let's start with Becton and Steen because that's in my notes. Want to get off the Tim McManus article? Well, here's a great question. Officially released to the media, the unofficial depth charts going into the preseason game. Zach Berman shared it out to the people, to his followers yesterday. I put it up here on the screen. And surprisingly, Steen is still listed. Again, this graphic is from Zach Berman's site or Twitter account. That Steen is still listed ahead of Becton on the depth chart. Very, very surprising, in my humble opinion. Everything I read, Becton's ahead of Steen. Becton's getting more reps from the ones than Steen. I know Steen's been banged up. Becton has been banged up. Everybody's been banged up on that offensive line to an extent. Am I concerned? Yeah. Because neither of them are winning the job. It's basically they picked the lesser of two evils. Becton is making mistakes. Steen's making even more mistakes. They can't stay on the field for very long. I am extremely concerned at right guard. This is part of the point I made around the draft. This is not. I love Cooper DeJean. I love Quinion Mitchell. I think they're both going to be great. That's why I wanted Jackson Powers Johnson or a center in the draft. Keep Cam Jurgens at right guard because he was a borderline all-pro right guard, and then bring in a new center, another blue chip prospect center. But no, you moved your right guard to center, and you created a huge hole, and you didn't fill it. You patched it. This isn't the, what's that patch that you slap on and the water stops? Becton and Steen's not that. What's the sticky glue thing that you just slap on? This is the Temu knockoff version of that. When you slap it on, more water comes out. It concerns me. Bryce Huff, look, I've had concerns since the day they signed Bryce Huff. I have. I've been honest with that. I still think Nolan Smith, not Bryce Huff, who you signed to lead this team in sacks, is not going to lead the team in sacks. Concerns about edge and right guard is very real. 1000%. I'm more concerned about these positions than the fact that Justin Simmons isn't here yet. I'm more concerned about these positions than safety, even though I have safety concerns. Right guard, edge, safety, in that order. They're my concerns. And Jake Elliott missed his first kick of training camp yesterday, a 58-yarder. Came up a little short. He should probably be cut for that. That's my other big concern. I think DeJean can play some hybrid linebacker in certain situations. That's more you. That's your department. You break down college film way more in a day than I do in a lifetime. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Is this another, maybe, but I need more from it. I need some verifiable source in this article. Every single piece of the article is through an anonymous source, and so many different ones. I just can't get behind it. I can't. I just skimmed the article. There's a lot of finger pointing without much in terms of quoted sources. Just said. I starting to think McManus is right. See, and you notice it's him and Jeremy Fowler. It was a dual article. Tim McManus wanted to make sure this is like the ESP piece with Djax. 2 names on the article. Like, it's an article that's firing up fans the opposite of me. Fans are buying into it. Media is buying into it, believing every word, because Tim McManus is supposed to be someone that gives us facts, not anonymous sources saying. This is the problem I have with the article. It's nothing new was said in that article. It was just said differently. And the way it was said starts problems that we don't need, because everything is supposed to be moving forward, not backwards. And the article tries to make things move backwards. Maybe they're going to pay less hot takes. I don't know. Tim McManus is not that guy normally. And again, that's why a lot of people are loving the article on social media. They're loving it because they trust ESP or trust Tim McManus. But maybe they shouldn't. And again, I love Tim McManus. I've respected him a great deal over the last 20 years, 15 years, however long he's been doing it. It's true. ESPN is dying. They're hurting. It's because they're dying because they pay 2 people more money than the rest of their company. Flex Seal, that's right. Steen and Becton are the Temu version of Flex Seal, Rick. You know, you get the Flex Seal, you pop it on, you could patch a hole in a boat. Tyler Steen and Becton are the Temu version of Flex Seal. You put it on, I'm picturing from Vegas Vacation and Chevy Chase's character putting a piece of gum over the leak at the Hoover Dam when he's on the dam tour of the dam bridge of the dam. How many times could they say damn tour on that line? He puts it, another hole pops out. You put that there, another one pops out. He's got fingers all like you fixed a problem, losing your all-time great center by creating an even bigger problem by creating a huge hole at right guard. And they did not address it well enough. And it does, to me, seem like Flex Seal. It really does. It really, really does. I'm going to leave that in the background if we want to pull it back up, the depth chart. Exactly, Nooms. Jurgens is not a guarantee either at center. We've discussed this. It's one of my biggest concerns this year, too. Okay? I've said it. You know Cam Jurgens is a borderline all-pro, probably would have been an all-pro right guard this year. We don't know what kind of center he's going to make. We think he's going to be a good center. We hope he's going to be a good center. Hopes and dreams. That's not how you build a Super Bowl team, on hopes and dreams. You build it by putting the best players possible at every position within the confines of the salary cap. And I think they may have made a slight miscalculation there. And to me, it's a big concern. To me, right guard / center, because of the movement of Cam Jurgens, is my biggest concern. And even on this show 2 weeks ago when I brought this up, people told me, don't worry. Cam Jurgens is going to be fine. I tend to disagree. Oh my God. Do we have to go into script stories, script comments? It's too early in the season to talk about the script yet. I love the script, but it's too early in the year for this. Phil's first Payless hot take. The snake should be cut for missing a 58-yarder in practice. Yes, that's right. I saw that. He's literally 17 on practice kicks. He's better than Jalen Hurts' completion percentage. But he missed one. So fire the guy. Cut him. He's the worst. M. Night Shyamalan underrated. The Visit hits every time. Not a huge M. Night Shyamalan fan. He's good. Like, I don't rush to go see his flicks. Yeah, absolutely, probably would. But where's the twist? Yeah, where's the twist? Not terribly concerned about Sirianni and Hurts' dislike for each other, as many quarterbacks and head coaches don't get along with each other. Brady and Belichick despised each other and went on to win 6 Super Bowls. That's a fair point, Rick. But see, the thing is, I don't know if they despised each other. They didn't see eye to eye. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni might still not see eye to eye, Rick. Sure. They don't have to. They can disagree. They can debate the way to do things. But that article makes it seem like literally this is about to be a duel. 10 steps, turn, fire. Like, it seems like they hate each other with a passion. And Nick Sirianni says jump, or says jump, and Jalen Hurts says, no, I'll swim instead. Like, I'm doing the complete opposite of what you say. The sky's blue. No, it's purple. If this article was even remotely accurate, 0% chance that Nick Sirianni is our head coach right now. And I would like to ask Tim McManus this. If that article is accurate, then why did they keep him? And his answer will tell me a lot about it. My sources tell me David Archeri is the attorney in the Delaware Valley. Yeah, well, I'm your source on that. The twist is Howie Roseman has hired Belichick to steal every team's playbook. Is that what it is? The script's already been written to get Nick Sirianni fired and bring Bill Belichick in week 8, right? Guys, this is just, I don't even know what to say about the article anymore. I don't. Did not hate one another. They didn't even dislike one another. Their relationship was professional and they respect. There's a difference between hate and respect, for sure. They might not have agreed on everything, but they respected each other to an extent. Yeah. Belichick coming out of the shadows at the end of the season to stand on the stand. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, we got some great sponsors here trending in the AM and Edge of Philly Sports. And I have to say, SherryTickets.com is one of my favorite ones to promote because Adam, when he's in the comments, reminds me how many times he's taken advantage of SherryTickets.com this summer for sports tickets and concert tickets. Whether you're in the market for a Phillies tickets, Eagles tickets, a concert ticket. I don't know if anybody went to Sack Bryan last night. I know it got poured on. You want to go to a theater show? Go to SherryTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. The premier place. No hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. They're great prices. If you use promo code EOP10 at checkout, you get an additional 10% off. So why would you overpay with the rest for your sports, concert, and theater tickets when you can save with the best? SherryTickets.com, EOP10 at checkout for 10% off. You know what's going to be low-key annoying? You know the cameras are going to be all over Sirianni and Hurts all day long when actual game. Absolutely. When the two of them are talking. This was like when I made the joke the other day about the golf cart ride between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. And Big Dom was in the back. And I joked that Big Dom was there only to make sure they stayed separated. Or I made a joke that Nick Sirianni was leaning to the right a little bit. That body language tells me there's a disconnect. Or Jalen Hurts had a fake smile on his face. Guys, again, I want to make sure I put this out there into the world plenty of times. I am not crushing Tim McManus. I like Tim McManus. I respect Tim McManus. I just think the article is a little overblown, and I think the article is a hit piece to stir up drama because there is no drama. The biggest piece of drama in training camp right now up to this article is that Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown an interception, making fun of Elliott Shore-Parks for tracking his passes, touchdowns, and interceptions. That's been the biggest thing. Okay? And either people overreacting one way or the other to it. Well, it doesn't matter that he's thrown no interceptions because it's just practice. Or he's going to be the MVP because he hasn't thrown any interceptions. Me, I see it down the middle. I see it great that he hasn't thrown interceptions. It means he's grasping the new offense. But will it translate week one? That's what I say. Now, if Jalen, everybody's saying that him throwing no interception in practice is no big deal. And it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. Are the same people, if he throws 3 interceptions in a practice, will say Jalen Hurts is not a franchise quarterback. So they're only downplaying the lack of interceptions because it hurts their narrative. That's what it is. Jalen Hurts' ball security is a problem. That's what they'd be saying. He hasn't grown from last year's ball security issues. That's what they'd be saying. But he's not doing that. He's being very positive. He's making the plays. He's reading defenses. He's figuring out the playbook and the new terminology from Kellen Moore. He's locking it down through 9 practices perfectly. Now, I am willing to admit, I don't know if it'll translate when you go up against Green Bay's defense week 1. We will see. But today on August 7th, 2 days before the first preseason game, I'm excited. I'm positive. I'm feeling good about it. I know it has to happen in the real when it counts. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I've never seen The Last Airbender, I'll be honest. So I know what The Last Airbender is. It's a movie. Never seen it, so I don't understand the reference. Just so you know. Don't say that his live action was the worst. Yeah. Sources tell me that Hurts and Sirianni went penguin sledding the other day. Team, yeah. Is that what they did? Is that what they did the other day? Oh, man. Phil did business with McManus. Phil respected McManus, but Phil never trusted McManus or Sicilian messenger boy, Johnny Ola. Well, I'm not a big fan of Sicilians. I'm an Italian. I've been all over Italy. My worst experience in Italy was in Messina, just so you know. But it is the key to Europe, according to General Patton. So just going to say it. Look, I expect these kind of conversations to come up from Skip Payless or Dan Simpleton. I'm sure Dan Simpleton's show today is going to be all over this article. See, I told you so. There's problems. I never expected it from Tim McManus. I wouldn't expect it from Martin Frank or Chris Franklin. I definitely didn't expect it from Tim McManus. This is a hot take guy kind of thing. I need more than anonymous sources said something like this. And quoting 941.327 anonymous sources is just too many. You got to give me some substance, some real hard evidence. If you're going to write an article that takes me 10 minutes to read and say the same thing over and over again in the article with different anonymous sources, you got to give me some proof. I think that was also part of my problem. Like he said the same thing in the article 47 times. 47.2 times maybe. Where am I putting the horse head, Phil? I don't know. Tim McManus' bed, maybe? I don't know. Whoever at ESPN told Tim McManus. Who thinks that big sites, we agree, ESPN's hurting, they got to get into the clickbait business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Who thinks that sometimes the big companies, ESPN, goes to Tim McMahon and says, yo, we need something. We need clicks. Can you write an article about the disconnect between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and really, really push the envelope for us because we really need it? He writes it. They're like, no, I need more. Come up with more. Do you think that happens? Because I think so. Mitchie Pooh. Salute. Good morning to you. Phil, you love Hurts more than any man should love another man. Oh, man, I wish I had a podcast during my Don McNabb era. Man, you'd think my Hurts support is strong. My McNabb support was even stronger. Look, Barbara, I'm a realist. I'm willing to say that he's got to prove it on the field when the games count, not in practice. But, again, the article And my dislike for the article isn't because I'm a Jalen Hurts supporter or a Jalen Hurts truther or stan or whatever cool word you want to call it. My problem with the article is because if it was accurate, Nick Sirianni would not be the head coach of this football team. Plain and simple. So to me, the article holds no credence to me because if it was true, he wouldn't be here. That's all. It has nothing to do with my love of Jalen Hurts. Because if there was this problem, Jalen Hurts would have won and would have been kept, and Nick Sirianni would have been moved on from. And I would have been fine with that. They weren't going to get rid of Jalen Hurts and keep Nick Sirianni in this situation. Have not seen it, Mitchie Poo. I've heard some rumors about some of the cameos, but I'm going to try to see it at some point. If that's a Deadpool Wolverine reference, I don't know because I haven't seen it. But what I do see is all the great packages that PhillySportsTrips.com puts together. If you want to travel with your team to support your team on the road, or if you want to go to one of their great tailgates in Philadelphia to support the team, the premier travel and tailgate experience company in the Philadelphia region, go to PhillySportsTrips.com, sign up, mention EOP. Unfortunately, their trip to Brazil week 1 is sold out. You can't book it anymore, but they got a lot of other great Eagles takeover trips that you can book to support our Eagles, to support Jalen Hurts, to support Nick Sirianni. September, trip to Tampa. You've got the bus trip up to the Meadowlands to see them beat up on New York. Bus trip down to Baltimore to see Lamar. Not bus trip. That would be a long bus trip. Trip out to Dallas during Dallas week in November. PhillySportsTrips.com. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you mention EOP, Trend the AM when you sign up, guys. Make sure you check them out. They're the premier. And it's not just football. They do baseball stuff as well. Union as well. Penn State as well. PhillySportsTrips.com, guys. Make sure you check them out. I, too, have seen it and enjoyed it quite a bit in all the nerdiness glory. Yeah, I think I have a feeling that I'll like Deadpool Wolverine, but I also think it's it's clickbait to an extent. As much nostalgic, they can add to it, as much cameos as they can add to it, just so the audience goes, oh, did you see that? Hopefully the rest of the story and the action is good. And hopefully it's not just a lot. When I do eventually see it, it's not like, oh, yeah, spoiler alert, X played Gambit in it. I hope that's not the whole point of going to see the movie. I hope there's more to it than that. That's all. I do love that it's rated R. I hope the rated R part of it adds a little element of violence and adultness to it. But that's my haven't seen it yet Deadpool opinion. But anyway, back to the conversation at hand today. Back to the Eagles, not Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni's relationship, just the Eagles. The depth charts were released. Whose stock's rising? Whose stock's falling? Who are you surprised at where their standings are now 2+ weeks through training camp? Who's going up? Who's going down? I kind of dabbled with it a little bit yesterday. I kind of hinted at it a little bit yesterday about my opinions. I'm trying to zoom in here. Yeah. My opinions on Nakobe Dean. And now maybe there's a scenario where Nakobe Dean isn't part of this team long-term anymore. Story is solid, and the cameos get a little distracting, but solid comedy action flick. Yes, that's the thing. I worry the cameos get distracting. We fell in love with the Deadpool character because of Deadpool 1. There were a few little tiny cameos, few little pieces, but it was a great movie. Deadpool 2 was really good. Too many cameos can get a little distracting, in my opinion. That's just my thought on the movie. That's all. Nothing else. Just a little distracting. That's all. I'm getting messages left and right here on Twitter right now. What is this one here? This is the back to the safety conversation. I got a DM from Anthony DeBona, who was on the show, asking me to check the article about Justin Simmons, and this is Deeb's Deebs loves him some Justin Simmons. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, and Sidney Brown have missed a combined 19 games last year alone. Justin Simmons has missed a combined 13 games in 8 years. And he's writing an article why they should go all in on Justin Simmons. And I stand by my opinion that if the Eagles wanted or needed Justin Simmons, that he would be here already. I truly, firmly believe that. He would be here already right now if he was needed. That's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it. That's my thought process. And that's it. I know it might be wrong. It might be right. I don't know. That's what I think of it. Why is that like that? That's ridiculous. Anyway, back to the comments. It's called fan service. What, the cameos? I guess. Distractions, maybe. Good morning, Steve. What's going on, my man, Stevie Fuentes? Mike Green in the house. How you doing today? Stocks rising, stocks falling on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, 0 interceptions so far through training camp. Justin Simmons working out with the Saints. And, of course, the Tim McManus. I'm just going to say it. Hit piece on Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. That's the topics for the new people jumping in the conversation later here in the show. So get your thoughts, get your comments, get your concerns, your questions. Get them all in, guys. We all love ourselves some Justin Simmons, but if we have a rotational options for half the cost, why not try it? Yeah, Justin Simmons is a really good player, sure. But again, if he was such a good player, why isn't he on a roster yet? He's old. He's washed. Justin Simmons doesn't even have to Justin Simmons is at a point. There's VCP1 for the day. For those keeping track. If Justin Simmons was so great at this point, why has he got to try out for the Saints? If Justin Simmons is this hot commodity, you would just sign him, right? Yeah, you'd put him through a physical. But a guy in Justin Simmons' supposed shoes doesn't have to work out to see if that's what you do with punters. Week 6, when your punter gets hurt, you work out 4 punters and then assign one. Justin Simmons is supposed to be the savior of the Eagles secondary, but he's got to work out to even consider getting a contract from the Saints. That's right. Smash that like button, share, subscribe, follow button. It is free to do it, Mike. I try to tell everybody it is free to support your local content creator. I mean, you can pay, you can tip. There is tip jars down below in the description. But it is free to support us by hitting that like button, that share button, and subscribe button. Plain and simple. And I beg you, I ask you all, make sure you do it. I would appreciate it greatly. Didn't you see the stock yesterday? Yeah. Look, I know stocks are going down. I saw my VLO tank after I added a few more shares, last week to my portfolio. I saw it tank. I saw it drop like $60, $70 a share. I saw it. Wait, on the rise again. Forgot the reset. Yeah, look. I get it. That's kind of why I titled the show Stock Rise and Drop, because I was paying attention to the stock market the other day. How old am I? Like, I feel like I'm such an old man. I got to worry about my stocks and my retirements and my investments. God damn. Rather, I miss the days of just spending money at will and never worrying about it. That's what I miss. Why did I write some of my notes upside down in here? Oh, guys. Buy the dip. Yeah, that's right. I missed the dip. Yeah, did the dip already end? Is it already going back up? Please, I haven't checked yet in the last 24 hours. I haven't. Someone else's. We talked about the defensive ends, edge rushers. Another name that we saw a lot of people report on it and talk about yesterday in training camp, and we've avoided. We've not avoided. We haven't brought his name up much on this show, and I think it's probably a disservice on my part that we haven't brought him up. And it seems like, based off of the snaps, where he's playing in camp, the guys he's getting rotational minutes with, et cetera, that he's going to be a big part of this defense in 2024. And it's Moro Ojomo. And I know Deebs is a big Ojomo fan. Had a very good practice, a standout practice yesterday. But all the reports are he has been good throughout camp. And you think about it. Carter Davis, locks. Milton Williams are there, but without the extension. You lose Fletcher Cox. Who's number 4 on this defensive tackle rotation? Right now, it's Ajomo. And Ajomo showed a few tiny little flashes last year. Is there a scenario where Ajomo ascends into the Milton Williams category? Because Milton Williams, they can't extend and he's gone at the end of this year. And Ajomo's really being groomed to be the Milton Williams replacement. I still have hope and faith that Milton Williams gets a deal done to extend it. I'm shocked that it hasn't been done yet. Like, utterly shocked that Milton Williams hasn't been extended yet. Because Howie Roseman is so good at getting these guys signed and extended before they reach their peak so that he gets a cheaper deal. Shocked about it. We're all about to meet one of those hurricanes. Yeah. Stock market is resetting because the polls have Harris neck and neck with Trump. Yeah, I don't want to turn it into a political thing, but I did watch the press conference yesterday. I did. Ajomo is just a solid player. He'll have to step up. He's just a so you're saying he's just a jag, just a guy? I thought he was just a solid player, a rotational piece. But everything I read after yesterday's excellent practice, which then let these reporters actually talk about the solidness that he's had all throughout camp, that they're going to lean heavily on Ajomo this year. They like to rotate 4 or 5 guys at defensive tackle. Ojomo's number 4 on the depth chart right now. He's a lot. He wasn't a lot. He might have even started on the practice squad last year. Maybe did he make the team? I don't know. But he's actually going to be counted on to contribute this year. I hate when Twitch people put their click these links to get more views things. Guys, if anybody actually clicked on your links, I would call them stupid to their face. No one, whatever your name is on Twitch, is going to click your link unless they're completely stupid. So stop commenting on your link. Don't sleep on Gabe Hall. Okay? I'm going to write Gabe Hall's name down. I am. I'm gonna do some research if I have time today or sometime in the next couple days and see how many times I've heard Gabe Hall's name mentioned. I think I may have heard his name mentioned in 1 or 2 articles so far, K1, but not many. Everyone is a jag until they aren't. He just needs to make the jump from a guy to the guy. We don't need to be the guy. Jalen Carter is supposed to be the guy. Jordan Davis is supposed to be the guy. You need him to be somewhere in between. I'm trying to come up with a word for it. Just a guy, the guy. What's in between those two things? Like, I don't know. I got to find a word for that just in between there. Ajomo was very good last year when everyone was collapsing last year. He didn't get a lot of snaps. He didn't get a ton of playing time. But what playing time he did get, he performed well. Plain and simple. Back to the linebackers, because we spent a lot of time on the Jalen Hurts stuff. We spent a lot of time on safety. Is there a scenario? And I know it's shocking. Every year, a couple teams across the NFL have shocking cuts. He's entering his 3rd year. It took 3 years for Howie Roseman to admit his Jalen Reagor mistake before he cut him, but that was a first-round pick. I'm trying to think of, took 40 into the 4th year before he moved on from Kayvon Wallace. But I'd love Kayvon Wallace on this team right now with the lack of depth at safety. Would it 110% shock you if Nakobe Dean got cut? They only keep about 4 linebackers because of the edges. Nolan Smith's an edge, and, they don't really count. The only guys right now that count towards linebackers that have a chance that are making this team or have a chance are Devin White, Zach Bond, who I 1,000% think Devin White and Zach Bond, neither will see the field Friday night. They're both locked, loaded into the starting linebacker roles. You ain't going to see them. Nakobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter are the next 2 on the list, and Ben Van Sumeren, who they seem to be very high on Ben Van Sumeren. They eventually protected him from the practice squad last year and brought him up to the big club because linebacker was so bad. Now, I don't think it's possible that Howie Roseman before year 3 would cut a 3rd-round draft pick in Nakobe Dean. But Nakobe Dean's stock is dropping fast. Trotter Jr. is rising fast. You've got Smith and Jalix Hunt and Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat and all these guys on the outside edge. You don't need 5 or 6 interior linebackers on this team. Nakobe Dean's okay at special teams. Ben Van Summer's great at special teams. What would you put it at? 1% or less? 10%? Or I'm just completely nuts. If I ran a poll for Mitchie Poo, because Mitchie Poo loves polls, what would you put the chance that Nakobe Dean does not make this roster? Hey, he ain't. But I'm not going to put it at 100% that he makes this team. There's got to be a percentage that there's a chance. You say there ain't no way. Then the next comment from Duck is, no, it would not surprise me. See, there's two totally different opinions on this. And this is why I think there is a chance. Now, I would say 5% or less probably that he would get cut. Because you're not going to cut him entering his third year. You're just not a third round pick. Most likely. But if they only keep 4 and they want to keep Ben Van Summer in, VCP2, for those keeping track at home, maybe there's a chance. Because if you go to 5 linebackers, then you got to cut a position somewhere else. Let me go back to this. I got to rip this page out and hang it up somewhere so it's easier access for me. So last year, they only kept 3 interior linebackers last year. 3. Think about that. They keep about 10 to 13, somewhere in that range, linemen / edge rushers, and then 3 or 4 linebackers. They kept 3 linebackers on the initial roster last year, and it did come back to bite them. It did. And the way they built the linebacker group last year came back to bite them. So if there's even a chance that Nakobe Dean can affect the football game this year, they should probably keep him because you cut him, your depth there is hurt. Sure. I don't know. If somebody called Howie Roseman today and said, yo, I'll give you a 5th round pick for Nakobe Dean, he would accept it pretty quickly, wouldn't he? Pretty sure he would. A few of those guys will go on IR to protect the practice squad pickups. Possibly, yes. And now that you can get people off of IR, well, it's been a few years now, and it doesn't end your season, that's fine. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud when I'm talking about whose stock's rising and whose stock's dropping. VCP3 for the day. Obviously, White and Bond stock has skyrocketed. They're locked into starters. They like Trotter Jr. We've heard good reports of Trotter Jr. in camp. He's neck and neck now on the second string linebacker group with Nakobe Dean. Ben Van Sumeren still there. They obviously like Ben Van Sumeren. Ben Van Sumeren won't make the practice squad like last year. Who's the odd man out? Do you keep a one less cornerback then? Do you keep one less offensive? You got to cut somewhere to keep that 5th linebacker. How do you do it? They will just dump Dean to the practice. Yeah. I highly doubt Nakobe Dean would get through waivers to the practice squad, Tuck. That would be shocking. What up, Eric? How you doing this morning? Good to see you. OG gatekeeper right there. 19 likes. Not too. There's only 5 likes. Normally, Facebook gets a lot of likes and YouTube not so much. 19 likes is pretty solid. That's good. Keep smashing that like button. Keep sharing this video out. Keep subscribing. March to 15,000 subscribers on the ELP YouTube page. March to 100 on my personal YouTube page. Guys, keep liking and sharing and subscribing, guys. It's free to it. If he's bad enough, no one is grabbing him and giving him a little bit more time to get better. Maybe they find a way to get Dean on the on IR for a short period of time. I don't know. There have been 3 I've counted so far, Mitchie Poo. 3 VCPs so far today. Where is this? There it is. Jay, what's up, my man? Hit that like button, my man, please. Trotter Jr., better than crumb-ass Nakobe Bean. Love the passion in that comment right there. So Jay's on the side of the argument that maybe there is a better than 0% chance that Nakobe Dean does not make this roster. And let me forewarn, I don't want Nakobe Dean to get cut. I'm bringing a question to the table for you guys to discuss. I was a huge fan of Nakobe Dean at Georgia. I was stoked we drafted him. Shocked he fell to the 3rd round. Maybe there was a reason. But he's done nothing in his time here. He hasn't. It's crazy. But I am a fan. We need 100 more likes in here, fan. How else Are we going to get 100,000 subscribers? We got to get Phil. Dude, 100,000 subscribers. You would see me on the big screen. That's right. Time to get this show, this football season, to the level where people are stopping, turning on Skippy Payless or Dan Simpleton, and they're listening to this. Where else are you going to go and have your opinion actually heard? Again, to remind people, the tagline of this show is your opinions actually matter. Doesn't mean I agree with them. It doesn't mean I like your opinions. It just means they matter. That's all, guys, because you are watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. I am Phil Stiefel. There's my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok handle right there. Hit that like and share button, subscribe button wherever you're watching. I'd greatly appreciate it. See, Jay, listen. I say, Jay, thanks for your comment. Like the video. Boom. Jay likes the video. I love it. I love it. I just realized the Hertz is the Mr. Wilson and Sirianni is Dennis the Menace. What did Tim McManus watch a few episodes of Dennis the Menace and then wrote the article? This is true Skip Payless material. Oh, my God, K1. I am nowhere near Skip Payless material, okay? The problem is that statement is that we know what Dean is at this point, unless there was a jump. He's low-end starter. Trotter is the new toy. I love this comment. I don't think Nakobe Dean's going to get any better than he is. I think where Nakobe Dean is who he is. He's a backup. Are you going to waste a backup spot on a third-round pick? That's the question. When you've got the new toy in Trot Jr., when you've got somebody in Ben Van Summeren that you're very high on inside the organization, it's not happening. 95.123% chance Nakobe Dean does not get traded or cut. Sorry. But there is a chance. And I appreciate it, Jay. Look, we have fun. We don't just talk Eagles. We talk Sixers. We talk Phillies. Phillies with a big win last night. The season is saved in South Philly. Chris Sanchez got back on track. 14 hits. I did not stay up. I'm just box score recapping last night's Phillies game. 14 hits for the Fighting Phils. See, I can talk other things. Yeah, don't you see my little thing here? Look below my name. Look below my name. Say it out loud, Mitchie Poo. Look below my name. It says it. We need Howie to stop drafting linebackers in his own image. We need Derrick Henry stuffers. I think there's going to be. See, like linebackers to me, Eric, this is like a little semi-off topic. Linebackers are going the way of running backs used to be, where they're not valued across the NFL. You see a lot of, I was shocked. I forget what the deal was, but Patrick Queen's contract was nowhere near in the realm that I thought it was going to be. The leagues are starting to devalue linebackers because running game has gone away. But you're slowly starting to see, that the running game is starting to come back. So as linebackers are devalued, running backs are going to start to become more popular. And then as running backs and the league gets more running attack into it, people are going to have to pivot and start grabbing linebackers again. So maybe Howie needs to be progressive thinking and start, attacking that linebacker position now so that when the league needs linebackers, we're already there. Trotter is basically Nakobe Dean. I said it when we drafted him. My thing was drafting Trot Jr. told me they had questions on Nakobe because Trot Jr. is just he's basically Nakobe Dean's twin brother. They're the same thing. Undersized linebackers that can't cover. Plain and simple. Side-to-side speed, getting in the backfield speed, but can't cover. In today's NFL, this year's NFL, you need to be able to cover tight ends and running backs out in the flat. Neither can. That's a problem. No feisty little chihuahuas. Yeah. Trotter isn't going into coverage. He's not going to play much. All linebackers do have to cover it sometimes. Yep. I can imagine what Trotter Sr. is thinking. He wishes he could put all his football knowledge into Trot Jr.'s brain. And I always feel so bad. And Trot Jr. is not in the LeBron James level. But when you're the son of a famous athlete and you're trying to follow in their footsteps but make your own name, and every time, like LeBron with Bronny, Trot Jr. here in Philly with Trot Sr., like everything is going to be compared to your pops. Like I feel bad. I really do. Like I would almost want, like, All right, well, you're a famous football player. Well, I'm going to go play basketball then. Like Randall Cunningham's daughter's a track and field superstar. Do something else. Basis hot take. Those think boys CB and San Fran will be retrained to line. What? Hold on. Sorry. Basis hot take. Those think boy CB and cornerback and safety will be retrained to linebacker. Cooper DeJean, they mentioned, could play a hybrid linebacker earlier in the show. Maybe that's what you're getting at there. I don't know. I'm trying to understand this one here. Too many letters in the conversation. There's LB, SAF, CB. Way too many initials for me to dissect that. I watched footage of Trot Jr. He plays with instinct and not reads like a smart boy. Linebacker will do. Okay. You know what we'll do is if you give a call to the best damn lawyer if you're in trouble in the state of Pennsylvania. That'll do. If you need a workers' compensation lawyer, motor vehicle accident if you've been in, hope you're okay, personal injury law, criminal law, call the best in the state of Pennsylvania, David Archerry, Esquire. David Archerry is the best. He'll fight for you. He'll get you what you deserve. He'll get you your results you need. Give him a call, 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Again, David Archerry will fight for you, get you what you deserve. That number, 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com. Make sure you mention EOP and Train the AM when you call and sign up or go to his website or do whatever. When you hire him, just let him know where you found him. Will Trot Jr. have a better career level than Bronny will in the NBA? Wow. That's a tough one. No, yeah, Trotter Jr. has to have a better career than Bronny. Bronny will not be in the NBA as soon as his dad retires. I feel bad for Bronny. I do. Expectations are there. He's being handed a silver platter, an opportunity most would never get. He got the opportunity because of his father, and I don't hate him for it. I don't. There's a lot of people that hate that LeBron got Bronny his gig, his contract, and his draft pick. I don't. In all walks of life, we work hard to give our children a better life than we had and better opportunities than we had. That's all LeBron did. He worked hard to give his kids the best opportunity possible. He did, so I have no problem with it. But Trot Jr. is actually an NFL football player. Whether a good one or not, we don't know. But Bronny ain't no NBA player. Not even close to an NBA player, in my opinion. Like, he should be so far from an NBA. He should be a G Leaguer for the next 5 years or go overseas to play. So Trot Jr. will have a better NFL career than Bronny in the NBA. 99% sure about that. I put a lot of percentages on a lot of things here, don't I? Who's a big nickel? What? Cherry bombs flowing in, of course. But guys, final 20 minutes of the show today. Topics on the table to continue to discuss. We're still talking the Tim McManus. I'm calling it a hit piece because it is a hit piece, a drama-laden piece, a piece that's going to stir up drama and trouble. I'm going to reread the article today, probably 2 more times. I'm going to take more notes on it this time, and we will discuss it tomorrow. Guarantee it. But we're talking that today. We're talking Jalen Hurts. Why can't we think of his training camp stats and what they are? A positive progression from 2023. We don't need to get overhyped about them. We also don't have to trash them as just practice. We can dissect them for what they are, progression, and grasping a new offense. Who's a more polarizing figure in Philadelphia sports, ever or now? Joel Embiid, Jalen Hurts, Allen Iverson? I mean, I don't remember an athlete quite dividing a fan base quite like Jalen Hurts does. DRC and VCP as a tag team the cherry bomb into the Bronco Buster, then the 1, 2, 3. We didn't start the. I love it, dude. Man, look at you dropping all this information right here, all at once. Oh man, you missed the cherry bomb. Oh man, how'd you miss it? I know Eric took it so far and so like he planned it out with emojis and everything. Perfect. How do you work? Who works? I mean, I do. Every day more than the day before. Because nobody wants to work at the pizza shop. Nobody wants to. Everybody complains. Why is my paycheck so small? Why is my paycheck so small? Well, when you call out 97% of the time, you can't get paid. When I asked you 2 weeks ago, you're playing football this year. When do your off-season practices start? I'm not sure. I'll get that to you soon. And then you text me last night and say, first practice is tomorrow. Can't work for the next 2 weeks because of training camp for football. What the hell am I supposed to do? Okay. Get the fuck out of here. Hate staff at a pizza shop. Hate it. Voice cracked cherries is the voice cracked cherries. I'm saying it in the tone that I say the cherry poppin' daddies. Who's better, David R. Cherry or the cherry poppin' daddies? There's one for you. Go back to 1999, 2000 with that one. I like the name, the voice cracked cherries. We would definitely take down A-Town Down Under, but they're not tag team champs anymore. We would not beat the Tongas. Definitely not the Bloodline. We'd get our asses whooped there. Who are the Raw tag team champs? The Judgment Day? Yeah, we could beat up on JD McDonough pretty easily. Trot Jr. started at a major college program. He must have something. I know he's not super athletic. We're up to 20 likes on YouTube, guys. Keep pounding that like button for sure. Dude is as athletic as hell. But in the NFL, you got to read the offense and vice versa. Absolutely agree with that. Dude, the pizza shop life, man. It drives me like insane. I've been in the pizza business. I've been in the restaurant business since I was 14 years old, Mitchie Poo. I'm 43 years old. Spent 18 months on a cruise ship. The rest of it's been in a restaurant, and 90% of that has been in a pizza shop. So 16 and a half owning my own. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the lazy attitudes. I don't have to give you notice. I don't have to tell you, hey, if I'm taking off tomorrow, sorry, not coming in. Figure it out on your own. But I better get a raise in my next paycheck. Bronny was born a millionaire because of his father. He could have turned into a POS entitled rich kid, but he worked his butt off and make the NBA. Yeah, look. Everyone calls it nepotism and all this other stuff, that Bronny was just handed all this. Look, I truly, firmly believe, I don't have kids, but I know my father worked his tail off to give me a better life than he had. And I know his dad worked his tail off to give him a better life. And it just kept getting passed down. I'm sure any of you in the comments that have kids are working your tails off to give them a better life than you have. Is it nepotism? Or is it just what parents do? They try to help their kids so they don't have to struggle like they did. Trotter also hits like a truck with a 4-ton trailer behind it. Does he? I don't know. I know his dad did. I don't know if he does. Jordan's son were POS rich kids. Yeah, they might be. Rich kids do tend to be that. Can you get a discount? Everybody wants a discount, Mitchie Poo. Everybody wants a discount. Why does everybody want? Why can't people pay full price? I'm running a business here. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to pay this mortgage off. Got to get air conditioners put in. But you want a discount? I'll give you a discount. Not today. I'm leaving at 3 today. Today's going to be a short day. Bronny should be in the NBA. The only reason he got the contract he has is because of daddy. I don't think he should be in the NBA. I think he should be in the G League or over in Europe or in college still, growing up and learning how to play. But yeah, he got his contract and he got in the NBA because of his dad. Oh, I'm a freaking pizza shop. And 90% of my employees are high schoolers or college kids. They ain't getting no 401k. I have a 401k. I'm trying to retire. Trying to retire in 3+ years from the pizza business. But that's another whole subject. If anybody wants to buy it, even though I just crushed it and bitched about it nonstop, come buy it from me if you want to work really hard. I make a lot of money. You know who's worked really hard? PJ over at Dolan's Bar. 65 plus years. They've been the quintessential Irish American dive bar in Delaware County, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, my old hometown. Great food, great times, memorabilia giveaway. You know, they always have celebrities popping on through, Philly sports celebrities. Guys, Dolan's Bar, dolansbar.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Find them everywhere. When you go in, make sure you tell PJ and the crew, EOP, Trending in the AM, is where you heard about them. I greatly appreciate that support there, guys. Dolan's Bar, Ridley Park, the best. I think that was a pretty smooth segue right there. Jaden Springer with the yeah, for sure. Kyle Lowry has to retire. Well, I would take Kyle Lowry on my team over Bronny James right now, Mitchie Poo. Just saying. I would. No doubt that. Where else are we on my notes here today? We've been really hyped. I say, and we're going to get into it later this week, especially Friday with Deebs. Guys that we're looking forward to watching on Friday night in the preseason game. We've seen some verbal hype and glimpses of positivity from Will Shipley. And we've been talking about Will Shipley. But the last 2 days of practice reports, and yesterday specifically, Will Shipley has proven again that he is a rookie. And we like to make fun of Kenny Gainwell on this show. Kenny Gainwell is entrenched in that number 2 running back spot because Will Shipley is struggling mightily with blitz pickups and blocking assignments in practice. What's going to happen in real games if you got to put Will Shipley out there? I don't know. There's a reason why rookie running backs tend to struggle. There's a reason why they tend to struggle to get on the field, period, in preseason games or in regular season games. I am really curious to see what Will Shipley looks like in preseason. I have a feeling Will Shipley will see at a minimum of 50% snaps in all 3 preseason games. They're going to want to get him as much NFL on-field experience as possible in case they need him for a game when Saquon Barkley goes down or something like that. Just throwing it out there. We've all been really hyped on him. For the last 2 days of stock up, stock down, in my mind, Will Shipley's stock has come down a tick in the last 2 days of practices. Just my theory, just my opinion. I read that as Jerry Springer. Yeah, I love Jerry. Jerry. Kenny Gainwell, for sure. Trot Jr. has a listed 4.6 40 time. That's borderline NFL linebacker metrics. I love his strength and physicality, though. I don't know anything about him other than his. I didn't watch his film. I didn't watch his college highlight reel. Gainwell is the pass protection stud. I disagree with that. He missed quite a few blocking assignments last year, K1. A lot more than people realize. If I was at DC and saw Shipley in, I would blitz like there is no tomorrow. Absolutely. Every report the last 2 days is Shipley getting blown up in the backfield by multiple different players, by Trotter, by Dean. When Nakobe Dean and Trotter look excellent against you, it's not good. There were people that were ready to bump Gainwell down behind Shipley on the depth chart. It's just not happening. Not yet. But you're going to see it. I was joking on Monday when I was on Party on Broad with Deebs and company. Who's going to lead the snap count percentage on offense and defense for the Eagles? And I say I want on the field the most. Preseason game 1, Friday, 2 sleeps away. I want to see offensively Will Shipley on the field nonstop. I want to see Jelix Hunt on the field nonstop for both offense and defense. They're the guys I'm most excited to watch, and I want to see get a lot of reps and a lot of opportunities. Only Kenny G understands Kenny G. I watched the tape of Trot Jr. He can only make the plays in front of him. He gets lost if he needs to move to the left or right. See, I've read reports from Camp Duck that he's great running left to right, that he's fine. His sideline to sideline speed is what I've read from Camp that he's good at. It's the dropping back in coverage that concerns me with him. That's just me. What's up, Jose? How you doing this morning? There's only a minimum amount of rookies who are ready from day one, but there's plenty who needs to sit and learn. Absolutely. And that's why I don't expect Cooper DeJean. We talked safeties earlier in the show. I don't expect Cooper DeJean to help out at safety, even though he's really a cornerback. He's missed pretty much the majority of camp already. Just like Nolan Smith missed so much time with an injury last year. And we really didn't see him get many snaps till late in the season. I expect the same thing from Cooper DeJean because of the injury. You will always I applaud. I applaud your dedication to being the captain, president, CEO, CFO, COO of the Kenny Gainwell fan club, K1. I do. I applaud it. Oh, we got controversy at quarterback, too. Our backup quarterback controversy is heating up in training camp. Who doesn't love a good quarterback controversy? I love a good quarterback controversy when it's the backup quarterback, when there's no quarterback one controversy. You know, there are quarterback one controversies throughout NFL camps right now. The real Justice League would be David Archeri, Judge Joe Brown, Judge Judy, and the big boss man. And it was me all along, Austin. It was me. I'd be in control of the whole thing, right? The sideline isn't the problem. He can't make the play because he doesn't see it. Okay, that's fine. See, there's the deep analytic knowledge I just don't have. I don't watch film and break it down well. That's not my strong point. There's a lot of content creators that do it. There's only a few that do it well, that watch the all 22 and really break it. Everybody can buy access to all 22. Not everyone can break it down. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at that stuff. I read and react. Who doesn't love it when the Cowboys are falling apart? Giants are fighting. I know you mentioned the Cowboys and their controversy, and that could be a whole episode on that. But you see it now twice this week. Fights breaking out at Lions, Giants, joint practice. And it reminded me how dumb NFL players are. Who swings fists at guys wearing freaking helmets? I don't care if they got the concussion-protected helmets on. Like, why? Why would you throw a punch to a guy with a helmet on? Are you stupid? You are stupid. There's my Skip Bayless hot take of the day. The idiots that fight in football with helmets on. Are you dumb? Are you retarded? Is something wrong with you? Were you dropped on your head when you were a baby one too many times by mama? It drives me nuts. But yes, I love to see the Cowboys struggling and controversies and whatnot. Who the love it? Of course. I was bored and couldn't sleep pre-draft and heard all this Trotter Jr., so I watched. There you go. I love it. Hey, there's been 2 rants of Phil today, maybe 3. Offense responded very well to McKee last season during preseason compared to number 2 quarterbacks. Yeah. Look, Tanner McKee, I was shocked when they brought in Kenny Pickett. I thought Tanner McKee was the guy. Maybe there's a bigger plan in play that I don't know about. I don't know. All 3 will make this team, barring a drastic trade or something like that. The question will be, do they leave Tanner McKee as that 3rd emergency quarterback, or do they bump him up? Kenny Pickett should be the number 2. He's got the experience, obviously. Yes, they are dumb. Like, I watched the video from yesterday's practice, and you got Lions and Giants football players just slugging away, punching right at the face. Who's got a face mask and a helmet on? Yeah, it's got the concussion extra pad for practice on it. But still, are you stupid? You're trying to break. It's like a pitcher punching a wall after a bad outing and breaking their hand and having to go on the injured list. It happens far more than we realize. And it's stupid. Organized football is structured. Each player has responsibilities. I'll be watching him closely. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be watching Trot Jr. for sure. Kenny Pickett is reclamation project that they are hoping to sell. Yes, I agree. I think they want to sell too. It's a matter of whether they sell this offseason by the deadline or next offseason. That's the question there. Yeah, the 49ers, man. Does anybody like me think the 49ers are going to crash and burn this year? You're about to get rid of maybe your best wide receiver. Maybe. Brandon Ayuk better than Deebo Samuel? Maybe. Christian McCaffrey just got hurt. Going to miss the rest of camp. Maybe the beginning of the season. Super Bowl losing teams fall apart the next year. I don't know. Something doesn't seem right in the Bay City, San Francisco. Now, I think he does get traded. The Steelers are an interesting place for him. I get that. I know New England and Cleveland have trades in set up if you can get an extension with one of those teams worked out. He's already said no to New England, and then New England said no to him, so whatever. Cleveland, I don't know. The Steelers seem to be a good spot. I'm not sure who else would want. Maybe dark horse. Buffalo's got a really weak wide receiver core. Would they be interested in him? Maybe. Would Aaron Rodgers want another weapon there with the Jets? I don't know. I'm not sure who else at this point would want to bring him in. He should have been traded. 49ers are doing a disservice to their team and their fans by not trading him yet. Going to the Dolphins or Browns. Dolphins, I don't know about the Dolphins. They've already paid Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Are they really going to trade for Ayuk and pay Ayuk as well? The Browns, yeah, I guess. Debo is more flexible than Ayuk. Debo plays running back. He does a lot of different things. But Ayuk is maybe a better wide receiver, traditional wide receiver. Kick him out of the NFC. Yeah, as long as it's not going to a team that the Eagles play, right? I did hear the Commanders as well. I don't know if that would happen, though. I am not sure if that would happen. I wouldn't want them in the NFC East, and that is for sure. They have the cap room, but we don't know if they have a quarterback yet. They're still trying to rebuild that organization from the ground up. Yeah, I don't really want to have to go up against Scary Terry and Brandon Ayuk twice a year, no matter who the quarterback is. But that's that. All right, let's start the wrap-up process. What are we talking about tomorrow? More Eagles training camp. Martin Frank, I don't have the exact time that he'll be joining us tomorrow yet. I'll get that later today, but he will be on the show later today or tomorrow, Martin Frank, and we'll get his take on the Jalen Hurts situation and on training camp, stock up, stock down, and who he's looking forward to seeing the most in the preseason game one. What else? Will the Phillies get a game? If the Phillies go out and win tonight, that's a 2-game winning streak. Then they win tomorrow. Then we got an actual winning streak going. It's been done before. Maybe we'll talk a little Phillies. Yeah, miserable for 3 teams in the NFC East. That's right. That's right. Bubbles up to y'all. Let's rant about the Fox's pizza staff. Yeah. Oh, man. Are you doing preseason game betting lines? No. I am a degenerate bettor. I have Brian Harmon, 30-1. He's my pick to win the Wyndham Championship this week from Greensboro, North Carolina. Flair country. Woo! That's my bet. A little side note, golf-wise. The Wells Fargo Championship, now called the Truist Championship, held down at Quail Hollow every year. Quail Hollow is next year's PGA Championship. So you need to find a new place for it in 2025. It's a one-year thing. And the Wells Fargo / Truist Championship coming to Philadelphia next year, the Philadelphia Cricket Club. So excited. Really hoping to get some media credentials for it and to cover it for EOP and to watch some live golf. I'm kind of excited about that. Call David Archer, just say what's up. Yeah, I dare you to do it. He'll drop us like 5th grade French or 5th period French. If you start just calling him to say hi for not serious things. But with that being said, guys, I got to wrap up the show right there. Thank you all for tuning in. Another fun day. A lot of ranting on my part. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the business. I do not swing like Happy Gilmore. I would probably hurt myself if I even tried. But with that being said, guys, we are going to wrap up the show right there. Let me find my exit video. So it's all set and queued up right there. Yeah, live golf. I'm working on it. I've already put the request into Big Al and crew to get me credentials for the Truist Championship next year. Hopefully they can work that out. I would love to get some live interviews with golfers. I'd love to get and the Wells Fargo Championship is an elevated event, K1. So Scotty will be there, Rory will be there, all the big names will be there. I love it. I love it. Hoping that works out for me. With that being said, though, guys, ring that bell. Go Birds. Bubbles up to you.